Okay, guys, this is the third video from the class that we missed today. This is talking about the financials template, financial documents template. Guys, that's going to be very important for your final business plan. If you haven't watched the video about the business plan assignment, please go over and have a look at that. That's going to give you all the information about deliverables from that assignment. This part is integral to that. I think it's section 10, the financial section. If you complete this document, that's completing everything you need for your business plan as well. So this is going to be important. So guys, I've uploaded this as activity number 10, I believe, in-class activity number 10, AC10. So I'm not going to, you guys don't need to complete this for class, but what I would like you to do is get started on it for your companies. So next time in class, I'll give us some time to actually work on this, and I want you to start working on it. So that'll be what we're actually doing for our in-class activity. You'll need to complete it for the business plan assignment, which is due on April 5th. So you'll need to get through it all. Now, the one good thing about this, guys, is that I have gone through and I've given us examples of different things. I've given us some references here. I've put in questions which will help guide you along the way. Everything that we actually need to include ourselves when we come over to the different areas here. So like here, when we're thinking about our variable costs, everything in yellow here, this tells us that you've got to figure out for your company what your company's variable costs are. So there's a thing here for shipping. Obviously, if you're a service company, then shipping is not going to be a cost that you have. Maybe you don't have merchant fees. You might have packaging or you might not, but I've created space for all of these. These are just examples, guys. Here we can see it's assuming a 4% merchant fee. So in this formula here, we can see sales forecast B7 times 0.04. So that is adding in the merchant fee. So the note there's an assumption that it's got a 4% merchant fee. So if there's any assumptions, guys, that we are making for our company, then make sure you put them in the notes and you use the correct formulas for it. But okay, just going back here, guys, the first thing we're starting with is our sales forecast. So this is pretty straightforward. Remember, in our business plan assignment, we have to project 2 years forward. So basically what we're going to assume is that our company is going to launch in 2027, at the beginning of 2027. And then we're going to have 2 years of data going to the end of 2028. So guys, I've created spaces for all that in this template, going right up to December 2028. Now, this is pretty straightforward. How many sales are we going to make per month? What is the price per unit? And then, are we going to add an increase here? So this is a 10% increase. We can see we're starting with selling 10 per month. That's in our first month. And then that percentage increase here, the 10%, has been increased over time. So we can see what our sales forecast is going to look like if we just base it on a 10% increase. Now, guys, you need to think, is that how we're going to do it? Do we think we'll grow 10% every month, our sales? Or is there some kind of structure to how our sales will change month to month? Is it going to be reduced in different seasons? There's a lot of questions we need to answer down here. So total market size, market share, are you differentiated? What's the competition doing? How much can you produce? So guys, you need to think of all of these questions and then come in and estimate what your sales per month are going to be. And then we're going to obviously get the price of those units, and that's going to give us our projected revenue for that month. Now, this is the service model here, guys. So you can put that in as well based on service. That could be the customers per day, sales per customer, and then we've got an increase of 5% here, which we can see if we get into the for 3 months. So it should be here. There we go. There's our increase there, times it by 10%. So, guys, you'll need to adapt this to your company. You'll need to go in and just basically make some assumptions, make some projections about what you're going to do. The more data you can get here, the more evidence you can get to support you, the better. So investors are going to look at all of these questions. They're going to ask, if there's 100,000 people in your market, how many of those 100,000 do you think you can get? And do you have any data to back that up? Like, is your product very different to the other products in the market that will make 50,000 people of those go to your product, for example? So you got to think about these questions here, guys. That will help you forecast your sales. Now, the next one is expenses. So this is something, again, guys, you're going to have to do a little bit of research on to find out. There will be standards, guys. You don't have to make this really, really specific, but we just want to, build something out that we can give to our investors to show this is going to be about average. It may not be exactly correct, but this will be close to what we're going to be paying. So again, guys, we could do starting with our variable costs. So the purchase cost of the unit, so how much it actually costs to get to us, and then all of these other variable costs here that we need to get to our total variable cost. Then, guys, we can see how many we actually sell per month. We can pull this in from the sales forecast. Then we've got the cost per unit, so we can figure out what the total variable cost. If we're selling 10 units, and then it cost us this much, we're timesing that by 10, obviously, to get the total variable cost. So that's how much it cost us to sell those, get those products and sell them for that month. Then we might be looking at our other costs here, guys, monthly and period costs. We can do a prepaid expenses here, so anything that we're paying in advance, we can put that in here. But we can put our monthly costs in here. We can see how that's changing over time as well. Okay, that's going to bring us to our application and sources of funds. So again, guys, here what we need to put in is our inventory. So how much inventory are we actually going to purchase to start with? The total units, what the inventory is, the cost, and then the total cost. So this is giving us our inventory assets. Then we're looking at our equipment. So what pieces of equipment do we need? We're getting a total cost there. Do we have any cash reserves? So are we actually keeping any cash on hand? And then we get our funds from our partners. So we can put our partners' names, guys, in. If you are thinking yourself of investing into this company as part of the plan, then you can put your own name in there. We want to put the total personal funds and then how much from bank loans. So we'll get our total source of funds. We'll get our total application of funds, which is the inventory and the equipment. And these should match up. So this is basically our startup budget, guys. How much inventory do we need? How many prepaid expenses do we have? What is our cash reserve there? And then does that match up to how much money was put in? That should be pretty straightforward. Now we get into a little bit more of the difficult ones here, guys. Well, not difficult, but we can see that a lot of these have formulas with them. So this cash is going to be based on C43 from funds, which is, if we come here to C43, this is our cash reserve, right? So that's already been formulated into the spreadsheet. So that's going to give us something a bit different. Now, we've got to make sure that all of this is going to work properly, guys. We've got our inventory numbers here. Then we can see we've got our starting inventory minus our second month's inventory. So whatever we sold or whatever we have left there. A lot of these will be brought in. We've got, again, our prepaid expenses from our initial startup budget. But then we're going to have to forecast that over time. Again, guys, things like equipment, we can bring that in from our funds, startup funds or startup budget document. I've assumed an amortization decrease of 1%. That might not be correct, but that's just an assumption that we're making at the moment. Again, we've got fixed assets and then our total assets. Then we've got our bank loans, how much we're paying back, how much we still have to pay. Then we've got our owner's equity as well. So basically, guys, we're looking at our assets, what we own, our liabilities, what we owe, and how much money people have put in. And we want to project that out over the 2 years here. Same thing with our cash flow, guys. So we're going to start off with what we've got just before January 2027 here. We probably won't have any sales at that point. We may have some loans. We'll probably have some equity. But then, guys, we want to look at our variable costs again. So again, guys, these can be pulled in from the expenses sheet and then projected over time. Then we've just got a summary here of our beginning cash and ending cash. So we've got our inflows here, cash inflows, things coming in. We've got our disbursements, cash outflows, things going out. And then we're going to have a summary of how much cash we're going to have available after each month. Then, obviously, guys, that'll go to our board of directors or our directors to make decisions on what we do with that money. Do we pay it out to people? Do we put it back into the company? What's the best way to use that money? Okay, our income statement, again, guys, is going to show us how we're doing sales, operations, in terms of our taxes and investments as well. So we've got operating expenses, we've got our gross profits, we've got our cost of goods sold. So again, guys, there are some formulas in here that should automatically populate when you populate the earlier sheets. And as you go through, we want to make sure that we are getting all of this information filled in so that we know we can go and look at those financial metrics, those financial ratios, and see how the company is doing in general compared to those benchmarks. If we keep going here, this is the last one, guys, the pro forma statement of equity. This is just going to show us who's put in what money and how much. So we'll have to fill these in as well, minus the drawings here per month. So we'll just need to make sure we get in this this information to figure out who our investors are and how much they've put in. Okay, so guys, this is all set up for you. It's all ready to go. I will upload it into Moodle so you can download it and start filling it in. If you complete all of these, this is basically a big section of the business report. So we want to have a look at this. We want to go back and be able to analyze it. But when we actually do our presentations and when we finish our business plan assignment, this should be a big part of it. Okay. Let me know if you've got any question, guys. epi@okanagan.bc.ca, and we'll see everybody in the next class.